Well, it's time again already, huh? It only feels like just yesterday we went through the first season of this show. Now it's time to get through the second season. And it is a lot longer than the first one. But before we even get into the seasons, we got something we need to take care of first, real quick. That being the movie that I was going to review when it came out in theaters last year, but I couldn't quite get there, unfortunately. But today, it released on physical media, and I finally got to see it. It also released on Amazon Prime too, but point is, it's out now on digital and physical, which means I finally got to see it. And I had some thoughts. So, let's not waste any time and kick this Academia April 2 off right with a bang. Sort of. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station, your source for anything and everything animation, including heroes battling for the fates of the planets, as well as TV and movies. I'm still working on the tagline, sorry. I'm your host, Jackson Small. Welcome to Academia April 2. Let's kick it off by taking care of some unfinished business with My Hero Academia Movie 4, You're Next. The one with evil All Might. Yeah, so if you didn't see my reviews of the past few movies from last Academia April, I really enjoyed all those movies quite a bit. They were really, really entertaining. So this fourth one, I had high expectations. And after all this build-up and having to wait until this year to finally see it, it kinda let me down a little. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a very, very good movie. It is still very good. But it's not great, and it is by far the weakest of the four. Why? Well, I have a written review that sums things up pretty nicely, so I'm just going to stop yapping and stick to the script. I hope you guys enjoy, and feel free to let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments down below, because it does have around a 7 on IMDb, so it's got some fans. Yes, I'm fully aware that this technically came out last year, but since its physical media release is today, and no, that's not an April Fool's joke, that was actually listed on Amazon's website, I finally got to see it for myself after missing out when it was in theaters. So by technicality, I'm counting it as a 2025 movie, and the kickoff to my second marathon of My Hero Academia, Academia April 2. After how great the past 3 films were, especially Heroes Rising, I had my expectations set pretty high for this fourth one, with a promising concept. Yes, it's not unlike shonen battle anime to have an evil version of the hero trope, but this one, with it being All Might, I thought it'd actually be something pretty interesting. And it's taking place during the final war arc of seasons 7 and 8. I've been told by countless people that it's either canon or not canon, I don't really know. But what I do know is that this takes place during the final war arc. So we have the destroyed city, we have the big barricade around the UA High School to protect it from Shigaraki. This does take place in the timeline of season 7 and 8. So all the characters are at their up-to-date maximum strength. And now that I've finally seen it for myself, unfortunately, I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed. It's by no means a bad movie, and it's still entertaining as a fan of MHA, but so much felt missing. Positives first, though, because this still has a fair few. The action is still fantastic. This is My Hero Academia. The opening is solid. The animation is gorgeous. Again, this is MHA. The voice acting is still top-notch, especially Christopher Sabat playing 2 very different characters simultaneously, where he voices both Toshinori and Dark Might. So you kind of get a good side and a bad side, and he makes both sound slightly more distinct than the other. In other words, it's his version of Sean Schemmel's performance in the Goku Black saga of Dragon Ball Super, where you have one voice actor playing 2 different characters that share similarities and are just good and evil versions of said character. So, it's pretty much exactly like Goku Black. The final battle is still awesome. They always deliver on the final battles. Even in movies like this that aren't up to par with the other three, the final battle is still awesome, dude. Like, it's still a feast for the eyes. The music is great, and a few moments of comedy are pretty funny. Like, it only has a few, but when there is comedy, it does land in that traditional, usual MHA way. However, there's big flaws here. The story's very flat and wastes the potential of its concept. Like, the story here, it's pretty much like Batman Ninja vs. Yakuza League. Like, it sounds big and grandiose, but when you actually watch it, it severely lacks substance. Darkmite sucks as a main antagonist. Like, he sucks. Like, he's not even a good villain. He's just a throwaway copy. Like, Sabbath's doing a good job with the voice acting, of course, but character-wise, this version just sucks. And it took all the concept potential of that and threw it out the window. And the rest of the villains are boring cliches. Technically, they're all part of one big mafia family, but I honestly don't care. All the villains in here are a throwaway. Even the one that has, like, this daydreaming power. It sucks. The pacing is inconsistent. The third act is a rushed mess with a forced double climax. You'll know what I mean when you see it for yourself. And it is way too long, at almost 2 hours. This is 1 hour and 50 minutes long. Due to its severe lack of substance, it drags a lot. Overall, though, while it doesn't reach plus ultra like its 3 predecessors, it still pulls through just enough to get the job done. My Hero Academia Movie 4, You're Next, is a fun, action-packed, funny, and solidly enjoyable entry into the franchise that's worth watching at least once for fans of the show. If you are a fan of MHA, this movie will give you what you want. But it is by far the weakest of the 4 movies due to its really big flaws and ultimately being nothing more than one-and-done supplementary filler at best. It's still good, but it's nothing close to great, unfortunately. It's a pretty good movie. I do think it is worth watching at least once if you are a fan of My Hero, but otherwise, it probably won't appeal to you very much. So, it's a solid movie, it's a good movie, but it is a huge step backwards after the excellent second and third films. So, with all that said, let's get down now to the final verdict, which is going to be a disappointing but honest 6.5 out of 10. I gotta show it some tough love because it did let me down. But it is still a good movie. Let me preference that. I do have a lot of gripes with it, but this is still a good movie. I still recommend that you check it out if you haven't seen it yet, and it will give you what you want if you are a fan of My Hero. But if you're not a fan and just going into this movie blind, well, outside the pretty animation, there's not really much here for you. Sorry. But for fans, it's a good watch, but it is a one and done. And that's it. That is my long-winded, long-awaited, very overdue review, spoiler-free, of course, of the 4th MHA movie, You're Next. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this almost every single day. And I'll see you guys next time when we start the marathon proper with Season 2, Episode 1. That's the idea, Ochiko! Or just Episode 14. Whichever. See you in the next review. Stay plus ultra. Excited for what comes up ahead.